Should you buy Resident Evil 9 Requiem? I'm gonna start before the hardcore fans make fun of me. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil guy, not because I don't respect the franchise, but because I'm kind of a pussy when it comes to horror games. Movies I think I'm okay, but when it comes to actually making my inputs, I'm a loser. But I've played Resident Evil 2 Remake, I've almost finished the Resident Evil 3 Remake, and I'm about halfway through the Resident Evil 4 Remake. And I haven't finished those games not because I don't like them, but because I don't finish many games. Even my favourite games like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 I still haven't finished, so that's its own issue. But something I've always been interested in is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Resident Evil Village because of the first person in perspective. It just seems so immersive, you know, you get to look close at all the environments and stuff. But that's also the same reason why I never really committed. I think first person horror just fucking scares the shit out of me so much. Like not being able to see behind me, just, yeah, fuck that. So when I saw Resident Evil 9 Requiem got revealed and I saw the gameplay, how it was a mix between the feel of Resident Evil 4 and also had elements of first person, I thought that would be the best way to let me dabble in the first person horror without it being the entire experience. And after a couple of hours, I think I've come to the pretty clear conclusion that that's pretty much what the game is. It's 50-50, fucking kill cunts as Leon and then run away from people as Grace. It might not fully be my game, but I can confidently say that it's extremely well made and it's worth experiencing for fans of the series. I might go into some spoiler territory. I know people are very sensitive with spoilers about this game. I don't know what's a spoiler and what's not. Because I'm not that into the story and the lore behind Resident Evil. So just here's your warning now. I want to start by saying how good this game looks. The first person sections, especially as Grace, are visually insane. The first little bit where you're in the hospital or whatever the fuck, the lighting, the environmental detail and the texture work, there's literally moments where I was just looking at this fucking hallway and I was like, I don't know, this looks like photorealism. The game looks really good. The atmosphere is thick, but it's not like jump scary. It's just tense, like a low level anxiety.
Oh bro, you fucking scared me as well.
It sort of reminds me of Resident Evil 2 Remake, where you kind of have to do all this backtracking and exploring and shit, but you're just weaker, and more vulnerable, and fully immersed in the first person perspective. You feel smaller, and you feel more exposed as Grace. And the way she fucking breathes when she's scared, it's like the subtle sound design does so much heavy lifting, it makes everything feel more real and more human. The actual horror isn't like turn the screen off scary, but I think it's stressful enough. Zombies aren't just kind of wandering meatbags. Some have habits and they kind of linger in certain areas. They patrol in ways that feel kind of intentional, and that kind of environmental logic makes the world feel alive, which also makes it more unsettling. And then there's also stalkers. Not really stalkers, but they kind of roam in larger areas. I think the main example is the Butcher. But I always love the idea of persistent stalker enemies, even though they scared the shit out of me. And that's probably the biggest reason why it took me so long to play Resident Evil 2. But the biggest difference between something like Mr. X and the Butcher in Resident Evil 9 is that you can actually kill the Butcher, and that changes the tension dynamic in a really smart way. You're still kind of scared, but you're not hopeless. It feels like the playing field has been leveled a bit. Hey, that fucking kid, bitch. Fucking pussy. I'll be honest, I'm not really a story guy when it comes to Resident Evil games. I just kind of play them, and then whatever I understand, and whatever I don't, I maybe watch a video on it after. And for this game, I still don't really care about the characters on a deep emotional level. I think Leon is cool. I think this is Grace's first appearance in the series. But what really got me was the mystery, and I think that's the same with all the Resident Evil games. It's, especially in this one, the stuff with the doctor, it's the unanswered questions, it's like a slow drip and you're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and that always pulls me in. It's less about emotional investment, and it's more about curiosity, and I think that's more than enough. Like, I want to know why the fuck Grace's mum died and shit. But yeah, I haven't finished the game. I'm maybe like 5 hours in, but I can just imagine where this is going to take me. If it's anything like Resident Evil 2, where you start in the police station and then go in the sewers, and then you fucking have to explore this entire underground laboratory, then that excites me. Now let's talk about Leon. I think a lot of people are just getting this game because they like the Leon gameplay. Especially after playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, I think it's very similar. But that's not a bad thing. The shooting's tight, it's responsive, and it's impactful. It's not some massive evolution over the previous remakes, but I don't think it really needs to be. One of the main things I appreciate is that you get an axe that you can just repair with a button press, and that alone just activates something primal in my brain. I've always cared a lot about the gore and violence and stuff, and while there's always room for improvement, I think this combat feedback is very satisfying. The limbs, impact reactions, enemy staggers, it all feels really weighty, and it's good response for what it is. Something I didn't expect was the difference between the Leon and Grace gameplay. Obviously I knew there would be a massive contrast, but I'm excited to play as both. Like, I don't mind playing as Grace as much as I thought I would. When I'm Grace, I enjoy the tense moments, and it's not, honestly it's not that scary. Sometimes I'm playing as Grace and I just think I'm a hero, but I think that's because I'm not playing on the hardest difficulty. I'm playing on the medium one. But when I'm playing as Leon, I'm not scared at all. Even in moments where the doctor, the scary fuck, is like right in front of you and shit, I'll just think, oh, I'm just gonna like slam this cunt or whatever the fuck. But I really like how that game has that contrast. It adds an extra layer of depth to the game, and I think it does really well at balancing the action and horror split personality. Here's where it gets tricky for me, because I personally value replayability, I value quality and length. And although this game is highly polished, cinematic, and it's an incredible experience, I think these kind of games are usually one and done for me. I never played the second playthrough as Claire or whatever in Resident Evil 2, but I got a friend that's already started his second playthrough on this game on the harder difficulty. So I think hardcore fans will be absolutely frothing over this game. It's polished, it respects the franchise DNA, and it blends horror and action really well. But for me, I'm just going to play this once, spend good time exploring, probably like 20 hours or however long it takes me, enjoy the ride, appreciate the craft, and move on. So if you're similar to me in the fact that you don't really replay these kind of games, I don't think this game's going to change, or this game's got anything too crazy to make you want to replay it. Overall, I think Resident Evil 9 Requiem is a very solid game. I reckon it's better than the Resident Evil 3 remake, probably better than a Resident Evil 2 remake in terms of ambition and execution, but I still prefer the Resident Evil 4 remake. Just personally, because I'm mainly here for the action. But Resident Evil 9 is still a solid 8 out of 10. It's fun, it's tense, it's extremely polished, and even though the horror isn't really my genre, it's not really that scary. But that being said, I wouldn't want to play through Grace's parts of the story again. So I think the Leon parts are definitely my thing, but every part of this game is undeniably well made, and that counts for a lot. So if you are a hardcore fan, I'm sure you already got the game. If you're on the fence and you kind of want to just experience what everyone's talking about, like the hype for this game, it's definitely worth getting, especially if you have the money. I bought this game on Green Man Gaming for like $100 for the deluxe edition. It's like 20% off. This isn't sponsored or anything. I don't have a code, although I should try to get one. Please, Green Man Gaming.